Hey guys, American Trucker here. I know I haven't made a video in a while, so I figured I'd make a quick one. Just kind of stop in, let you guys know how everything's going. For me, things are going well. I mean, they're not like 2 years ago where, freight's, you know, just abundant and you can, pull as much as you want. I still pretty much work 7 days a week when I'm out, 4 to 8 weeks at a time, just depending on what I got going on at the home front. But, if you've watched my channel before, I hustle. When I'm out here, I work 7 days a week, and I like to go from load to load to load nonstop. If I could just stop for my 10-hour break and literally start 1 minute every single time after my 10-hour break and not run out of hours each week, I would do that. And I tried my best to do that my first year. But real quick, clock management plays a huge part in that. So find you a mentor in trucking, somebody that knows about clock management, and make that your number one priority, along with hustling and getting after it and not make excuses. But anyways, things are going well. Freight is a little bit slow, I feel like. Some people get on a prime, and now I could understand it a little bit better, depending on the market, the freight market, how much it's paying, of course. And somebody brand new, with bringing that into the the mix with their lack of efficiency if they're brand new in 2023. I could see how people come out here and struggling, but I think it's a lot of other factors besides that. I'm sure different for different people, but you throw in the combination of freight's not that well. Some people might come out here and work more hours than they're used to working. Maybe or maybe not get paid, depending on what job they did before trucking, as much as they did. But you throw that in with a lot of emotional stuff, which men are usually, I'm gonna get called a sexist for this, but or misogynist, whatever, but men are usually generally better, in my opinion, about handling emotions. Better than women. Yeah, I'm sure. Here come all the hate comments for that, especially from the feminists or whatever. But anyways, generally men can rise above emotions a little bit better, compartmentalize, stick those off to the side, do what we got to do, and then we can deal with that on the back end. And then women, are the opposite for the most part. Emotions play a big part in women making decisions, and logic plays more of a part in men making decisions. Well, let me go ahead and throw it in there, though. But there's things that women are way better at than men are. And that's where emotions are a pro or a con, or a strength and a weakness for both men and women. So trust me, when it comes to nurturing kids and things like that, guys can do it, and we do it, but that's not our strength. That's not our strong point. I'm not going to make this video about something else it's not, but there's a reason, in my opinion. I make sure I say that so I don't get kicked off YouTube. There's a reason, in my opinion, God made two different species, right? One with a lot of emotions, one with minimal emotions. They got two different jobs, two different roles in life. Definitely, the farther you go back, there was two distinctive different roles. Now it's got all cloudy and everything, and some of that's purposely cloudy. For an evil agenda, in my opinion. But I'm getting off on a tangent. Anyways, you throw all those things in the mix, is what I'm getting at, along with the long hours, being away from home, being away from the kids. You start getting inside your own head when you're driving for hours and hours on end every day down the road. And then trucking can seem a lot harder to somebody who probably in their first year. I mean, you're dealing with all these problems emotionally coming up, or missing family and stuff at home, and then at the same time you're trying to back into a spot and not hit something. You're stressed in every different way. You're stretched too thin, so to speak. So first year in trucking can be kind of hard for a lot of people. I feel like I had a leg up. I spent over 20 years in the military, so I was gone a lot. I was used to coming and going, being away from family, you know, that was just a part of my life. But just like trucking, my first tour, you could say, in the Marine Corps, I had a 5-year contract with the Marines when I first started. That was the roughest of my whole military career, for a lot of the same reasons. So, but you just got to compartmentalize. You got to look at your long-term goals. You got to set short-term goals and keep achieving those to eventually meet your long-term goals. You got to have a good support network, hopefully at home. Maybe you're not married, maybe you don't have a kid, so maybe you have a mother or father, or a best friend or whatever. You got to figure it out, right? Men in life, we just we find obstacles, we set goals, and we achieve them and or overcome them. That's just what men do. There's a guy parked right in front of me right now. He just turned his lights on right in my eyes as they're getting in the car. But he's old, so he gets a pass. He probably don't even see me. But anyways, so you just got to do what you got to do as a man. That's what men do. That's what my opinion is. I don't care if I get called misogynist or not. I'm a firm believer men are providers and protectors, and women are nurturers in general. So you could take that however you want, and you can take that conversation whatever direction you want. I'd be more than glad to have that conversation with someone in person and give you some of my opinions that back that up with that statement. But come out here in trucking, give it a try. Go into it, on a good note if you're going to get into it. And even though trucking's not the best at the moment, like I said, today's December, or the date, but December 2023. If you don't get into it on a high note like people did back in 2020, then you only got really one place to go. So if you can get in now, manage your time, manage your family, manage your money, right? We're not in a great trucking industry at the moment. Well, then if you get where you can manage all that now, it's just going to get better. But don't forget where you came from. If it ever does go back up like it did in 2020, where freight's abundant, it's paying $3-4 a mile every time you turn around. Leasing's even a good option. Driving by the mile, cent per mile is a good option. Buying your own truck, everything was a good option. There was no bad options in 2020. So if you get into it now and you're brand new, make this your baseline on your bills, everything. And then if it goes up a year or 2 or 3 from now or whatever, then don't forget where you came from and stick with that, and you'll stay ahead. So as people know, a lot of people got into it in 2020 to begin with, and they jumped in, and the freight pay, everything was way up here. And he's like, man, I can't lose. I can't go wrong. I can't make any mistakes. And if I do make one, it's not a problem, because the next paying load will make up for it. And they spent. They bought $250,000 trucks that were worth $150,000. Money was just going to last forever. And now they're, a lot of those people that set that as their baseline, at that point it was so high. There was, just like right now it's so low, there's only one place to go. It was so high then, there was only one place to go. And when they started going down to more reality of a baseline, they thought, the world was crashing or whatever. But a lot of those wounds were self-inflicted. But this is a life career move for some people. Find you a good mentor that has rode some of those waves. Not even me. I've only been doing this for a few years, but I got a lot of other life experiences before that helped me. But if you want a good trucking mentor, find someone that's been around the block for a while, in trucking, and has some life experience. I'm not saying a 25-year-old can't have a good head on his shoulders. I know quite a few of them. But you're gonna go through some sticky situations, and the more you can at least get advice from other people, you can try to take those in consideration when you're trying to figure out your own way in life and your own path, and kind of learn from other people's mistakes and not make the exact same mistakes, or maybe not as bad. I mean, I'm a firm believer it's good to make mistakes. You really learn better from your own mistakes, personally, but you don't want to make any big giant mistakes if you can help it. And that's where a good mentor or some good advice from somebody else that's kind of already went through those mistakes can help you out. But trucking, don't be scared of it, in my opinion. If you get your CDL, get a little experience, you can move on to better jobs or better companies if you want to, or have more options, or do more local work or things like that. But you know, don't be scared to get into trucking in 2023, in my opinion. Especially if you're a young man and you don't have anything tying you down. But you know, it just opens up a lot of doors later on, and it's better than playing video games, living in your mom's basement, working at McDonald's. Not that there's anything wrong with McDonald's, but if that's not your potential, you need to get out of the house and push yourself a little bit. And trucking will get you out of the, you know, small bubble that some people live in and never get out to experience life, or the rest of the world, or the United States, and you know, jobs that require them to be away from home and be more independent. And that's where the growth comes in, if you ask me. But anyways, I wasn't going to make a long video. Now I'm already at 11 minutes. I'm looking at the clock here, so I'm going to wrap this up and just say, you know, take accountability for your actions in life or inactions. So if you're 20, you know, look at where you're going to be at 25, 30 years old if you keep doing the exact same thing you're doing now, whatever it is you're doing. If you don't feel like you're on a good path in life, and you're growing, and something's pushing you to get better and better every day, find you someone else that might be able to pull you off to the side, look at your whole situation, and maybe give you a little push in life or some advice to get you going. Do what you got to do. Just don't. My advice would be to any young man is, life is what you make it. Do not depend on the government or anybody else to make anything happen for you. You want to make moves in life, you make them, right? Nobody's going to make them for you and then hand you the results. They're not going to go through, do all the hard work and just hand you the results of what they've done. You got to make your own moves in life. You got to take chances. If you're young, you ain't got a house commitment, or maybe just a car, but no wife, kids, or whatever. I mean, I keep using cliches, but the world is your oyster. There's so many things that you could go at least give a try. And if it don't work out, no harm, no foul. Go try something else. Give it 100%. If it don't work out, go try something else. You'll figure it out. You'll find your niche sooner or later. But saying, you know, one day I'm going to do this, one day I'm going to do that, and just never doing it is never going to work. You don't have to be 100% knowing everything about trucking to get into truck driving. Matter of fact, most people get in don't know anything about it. You just got to be able to willing to put forth effort, and find someone that wants to give you advice and listen, not think you know everything, and not think that a big trap people fall into is think they need to start at the top. You know, they see that guy has been doing it 20 years, has his own truck, you know, this making money hand over fist because he has everything paid off at his house, his truck was paid off, all this, and they like, I want to be that guy, and I want to be that guy next week, and I'm gonna be mad if I can't get there next week, and I'm not going to do trucking, be out here every day, 7 days a week, and be gone from the house for 4 weeks at a time, 6 weeks at a time, you know, if I can't have everything and have it now. Well, all those guys that you speak about and you see, unless they won the lottery or something like that, they all started when they were 20 years old, and they all had nothing, and they all barely scraped by, and they got their experience, and they got a better job, and they saved a little money, and then they went from there and snowballed and worked their way up to the guy that you're looking at, thinking that you want that in a week. Well, they probably earned that. They probably took their time, earned it, and through their experience and hard work, got to where they're at now. So don't be in a, I want to say don't be in a hurry. Your work ethic should be like you want it tomorrow, but you can't expect it to come tomorrow, right? You can't expect to go to the top of the totem pole when you have no experience, nothing to offer, right? There's not companies out there begging, or giving their best money or their best loads to a guy who started last week over a guy who started 20 years ago, that's been with the company faithfully and has a good record and plenty of experience, and you know, all these things. So be realistic. You come out here in trucking, you're going to work hard, you're going to start at the bottom, you're going to be the minimal person paid at the truck stop. The first week when you go and you pull into the truck stop, you're going to be the lowest paying person there, generally, the bottom 10%. So just know that, and whatever company you go to, unless you got some kind of, a relative that got you in the business that's paying you more than you probably should be, just because he, knows you, or he's a relative or something like that. But all right, now I'm really getting long-winded. It's been over 15 minutes, but things are going well for me. I'm a little over 2 years in at Prime, pulling Prime's freight. I own my own truck. I took my whole first year's paycheck, my entire first year's paycheck, and I paid that and paid it and bought a truck. And therefore, the whole second year, I had no truck payment, at least that first year. So I didn't make that much. So I just had to scrape, work hard, save every penny I could, and I used that money to buy a truck, a used truck, by all means a used truck. And prices started coming down when I bought mine some, and I got a pretty good deal on it, and I don't have a truck payment, so that's paying dividends now. I mean, that's huge in this market. So I'm still doing well. I'm definitely, compared to people that are leasing, that have that lease payment, or even the truck payment. But freights, I would say I would rate it okay right now, at least the freight that I'm getting. And it's different for everybody, I guess, because I see people making YouTube channels, and some people say it's terrible. And then right now in December 23, I don't see a lot of people saying it's great, but I'm saying it's okay. And I factor in, when I say okay, I factor in if I had a truck payment, what my paycheck would look like, a little bit less. And I still think it would be, I would still rate it as okay. But I wouldn't be scared to get into it as a young man right now. What other options, are you doing right now to get ahead in life? There's oil fields. You can go work hard, right? Dirty, nasty, hard work, cold in the winter, especially if you want to work in North Dakota. You can get on some oil rigs in North Dakota in the winter, because nobody else wants to do that work. But you got to be willing to do what other people aren't to get to the better positions, the better jobs, the better pay, things like that. And that's generally how life works in my experience. But anyways, that's it, guys. Appreciate you watching this video, if you're still watching it after 17 minutes now. And I'll try to make a few more videos, and I'll try to give you more of what I got going on at Prime. I've done a video before about buying my truck, but if you guys got any questions about owning your own truck and pulling freight for Prime, which is what I do, or leasing, which is what I did my first year at Prime, or any other questions in general, I got a few connections. I know a few people that I've met along the way, and there's a lot of opportunity out there if you're willing to go get it. If you're not willing to go get it and you want to stay in your comfort zone, especially if you're in a small town, USA somewhere, then there's not a lot of opportunity. But there's opportunity in life. Stop making excuses. If that's you, get after it, figure it out, do something. Don't just stand there. Don't just sit there and wait for life to happen to you. I promise you it's not going to happen. You got to go get it. That's it, guys. American Trucker, I'm out.